Okay, I think really the Citizen Advisory Committee, before we do anything with that, and once again, back to Mr. Geraldo, we probably need to do a survey. We probably need to do a survey, you know, what exactly does it mean? How do people want to interact? Do people want, if they wanted to volunteer? I mean, it shouldn't be the creation of an ad hoc committee, because that would not be the purpose. You know, what would be, I mean, you're the chair, so what do you envision the purpose of the city?
This is a conversation that Kate and Gail and I have had for a few months now.
I think like the purpose of this wasn't necessarily to put a recommendation out this month for something to be created, but just to sort of look at
discussion on
what, because honestly, this first came up in like the spring when I think there was just that mandatory revision, which made me like aware that there was a policy about a citizens advisory committee, which just says it might be useful in keeping board and administration.
What is it?
So,
because we already go to 6 committees.
Right, well, so this would be a committee of members of the community who are able and interested in the subject, concerned about the schools, members who represent a wide range of community interests, a chairperson, one or more board members, and school staff members. And so like basically what I think is great about this is that I know that there are, you know, a lot of board members who are on multiple committees, right? And there's such a time commitment. This is really more focused on getting the voice of the community. And so then what I did once I saw this is I just looked up like sort of what other districts have just to get an idea, because a lot of them handle it in different ways. So like, where's this one? There's the, not gonna find it. Winslow Township, which isn't near us, but they had some really great information on their website. And basically what they do is it's a committee that's formed by the board for the purpose of seeking advice, recommendations, and providing widespread involvement. The Citizens Advisory Committee is comprised of community members appointed by the board to serve for a term of 1 year with an option to renew granted by the board. And then the selection process occurs between October 1st and November 30th, and any interested community members 18 years and older can submit an application. And it sort of is a very like broad span of what topics, which is like one way, but then there's other districts. So like South Brunswick just had a budget advisory committee, which was 40 different community members. And that was,
so it is an ad hoc committee.
Right. I mean, I guess in that essence, yeah, I'm not sure, like it's an additional committee that is through the Board of Education, which is sort of like what the policy suggests, but I think there's a lot of leeway on how you want it, because like what they did is they focused strictly on, here are our budgetary issues. What types of things would you rather see? Would you rather see us have, because they already have, I think, pay to play, like where they pay for activities. Would you rather see that increased, or would you rather see certain activities cut? Would you rather see courtesy busing cut, or would you rather?
But who's
see
the they?
things like that? This is
South Bend. No. Who's the they? So for example, so if you have 6 people that want to come and give their opinion,
right,
but you have other people that have an opinion and they pay taxes too, but they don't come. So does that mean our decisions are made based upon the 6 people that come?
So the committee, my interpretation and understanding of the committee is it's created of members of the community who are able to reach a larger population of the community. So anybody who might say, you know,
What happens if someone runs a Facebook page?
Well, so it's
it wouldn't necessarily have to be us, they still get appointed by us, but you want to try to identify like key stakeholders in the community who may be interested in being appointed to this type of committee, who will then go back to their communities and get feedback on, you know, a given topic.
For example, of the Little League, your Little League coaches, your different sports, your minor sports that are around the town, they all have somebody that's in charge of it. And I mean, my husband was asked to be on one for a referendum years ago because he knew somebody from every sport
So
in
it's
town.
basically ad hoc.
So, yeah, he was asked by the superintendent to be part of this committee to help push the referendum to all those different sports things. And there was somebody else then that did, we had theater arts. And there was somebody that went to all of those people.
Right.
So you've got to pick, you know, you've got to go after those type of people. The seniors, the
Right.
senior center, one from each one. You know, that maybe
And
that's
how does this get approved?
So I mean, again, there's leeway, but from what, like I've seen in others, like this is West Windsor's, where They have an opportunity to be part of the overall program. The advisory council discusses discipline issues regarding the Board of Education, community education, including extended day program. And then like Barnegat, which I really like, they had it where they had several different members and they made sure there were at least 2 members of the community that do not have children in the district, but still have a vested interest in what is happening. Just because what you want to do is the members are chosen by the Board of Education. So what they did is anyone who's interested submits a letter of interest. And then like the South Brunswick committee, they had at those meetings, because they were actually recorded, like the board, like the superintendent was there, some of the finance administration. This was a bigger committee. There were 40 members of the committee as well. And it was just people with all different interests, right? Because that's what you want to get. You don't want to have everybody who has the same opinion. You want to hear, you know, people who like coffee versus people who like tea, or, you know, and so then like what they did is they were another one, Barnegat, where they cover a wide range of issues. They discuss configuration of the school district and, you know, different things regarding like consistency between the different schools. I mentioned something with transportation. So ultimately, I just thought it might be like, not that this is something we should start doing right now today, just the idea of if this is something we wanted to do, because, you know, ultimately we have a very, you know, vested, you know, public that's very vested in the school district. And we want to, you know, we've all said we want to hear what they have to say. This might be a way that, you know, in addition to things like public forum or sending emails, it's more of a conversation back and forth, almost like a committee meeting, but also includes people who are appointed to be here as members of the public. And then it's a matter of how many we would want, what the topic would be. Would it be a broad scope? Would it be one specific thing?
I would say broad scope, especially referendum time and budget time. That way you're getting every faction of this town involved in that committee. And if you want to pass a referendum, that's who you have to get that person to go back to that group, to that group, to that group. And you're hitting every group in this town. So we have to figure out what kind of groups we have in this town that we need representation from. So it's going to take a while for us to decide what we want this committee to look like.
Is this something that gets voted on by the board so you can decide if you do it? I'm not familiar with all, this is all new to me. I've never heard about that.
So just looking at the policy, I believe that the board, it could be a recommendation or it could be.
It was a
upon
board
appointment from-
policy.
Right, so it's a policy that you can have it, you're not mandated to have it, but I think it would be up to either the board president, if she wanted to automatically create it, or it would be a recommendation majority of the board to create the committee.
So I guess this is something that you'd have to bring up again.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.